There was a man who was sweeping the floor. He was doing his job diligently and dusting off the dirt and the debris that had been compiling over time. And he was doing this in the main lobby of a very famous hotel in Las Vegas. And one day a woman walks up to him while he's sweeping and she says, "Do you realize how lucky you are? Do you know who's sitting right over there?" She said, "I can't believe they actually hired you." She pointed over to a group of high rollers who were sitting at the table, drinking their drinks, smoking their cigars. And they had a very expensive bottle of vintage champagne chilling on the table next to them. And this woman thought it was hilarious that this guy was actually getting paid to be a janitor while these other people were getting rich. And so she leans over and she whispers in his ear and she says, "You know, if you just acted like you owned this place, they would probably pay you more and treat you better." And so he looks at her for a second and he goes back to sweeping. And she says, "Hey, if you want to make $1,000 a day, I can make it happen for you." And he looks up at her again and he says, "No, thank you." And she's sitting there thinking, how could you say no to $1,000 a day? You're an idiot. But he didn't care. He actually liked being a janitor. It was honest work. He had dignity. And so she gets up in a huff and she walks away. She goes to the bar and she orders a drink. And she sits down and she watches this man for the next few hours. At one point, one of the high rollers throws a handful of money on the table. And he thinks to himself, you know what? That man works hard for his money. I took a shortcut and now I have nothing. And the man who was sweeping the floor had $100 and a dream. So we all have different paths in life. Sometimes the path that looks like a shortcut actually ends up being longer than the path that we were supposed to be on.